It's hard to ignore the growing global fatigue with Meghan Markle. Once hailed as a breath of fresh air for the British monarchy, the Duchess of Sussex now finds herself at the center of ridicule and controversy, not due to media bias or royal sabotage, but because of her own repeated missteps, manipulations, and miscalculations. From botched titles to televised tell-alls, Meghan's carefully curated image is crumbling under the weight of her contradictions, self-importance, and tone-deaf moves. This isn't about blind criticism. This is about undeniable actions, verifiable facts, and a growing realization. Meghan Markle's greatest obstacle has always been Meghan Markle. Let's begin with the bizarre obsession with titles. Meghan's confusion over the basics of the British peerage system is not just embarrassing, it's telling. She has referred to her son Archie's surname as Wales in the past, despite the fact that, as the son of the Duke of Sussex, he would traditionally be Mountbatten Windsor. She's even hinted at confusion over whether Sussex is a family name. Newsflash: Sussex is not a surname. It's a territorial designation, an honorary title given by the monarch, not a brand name to slap on a coffee mug or Netflix documentary. Her apparent lack of understanding betrays a much deeper issue: the desire to monetize and weaponize royal status while simultaneously denouncing it. This contradictory behavior has been at the heart of the public's growing disillusionment. Meghan and Prince Harry insisted they wanted privacy and a life outside the harsh spotlight of the British press. Fair enough. Yet what followed was an Oprah interview broadcast worldwide, a multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix, and a memoir, Spare, that exposed the inner workings of the monarchy in painstaking and often petty detail. Privacy, it seems, was only valuable when it wasn't profitable. Then came the comedy world's reckoning. When Saturday Night Live's Colin Jost took aim at Meghan during a live skit, describing her as someone constantly searching for victimhood, it wasn't just comedy, it was a mirror. The public laughed not because the jab was cruel, but because it rang true. Similarly, Trevor Noah, once a vocal critic of colonial power structures, did not spare Meghan from satire, pointing out the absurdities and contradictions in her narrative. That kind of critique from mainstream comedians shows a major shift. She's no longer seen as a symbol of injustice, but a parody of entitlement. The comparisons to Princess Diana, which Meghan and Harry have not so subtly encouraged, fall painfully flat. Diana was universally beloved, not for her victimhood, but for her vulnerability, grace, and genuine humanitarian work. Diana didn't lecture people. She lifted them. She didn't accuse the monarchy of racism on global television without presenting concrete proof. She worked within the system to make lasting change, including public discussions about AIDS, landmines, and mental health at a time when those topics were taboo. To liken Meghan's Netflix documentaries and Spotify complaints to Diana's legacy is, frankly, delusional. It's like comparing arsenic to sugar, superficially similar but fundamentally opposite. And perhaps most damning of all is the impact on their children. By airing grievances on a global scale and weaponizing their royal connections, Meghan and Harry have built an identity for Archie and Lilibet rooted in controversy. The kids have been left without real ties to the UK or their royal cousins. Instead, they are growing up in an environment steeped in lawsuits, Netflix specials, and estrangement from extended family. These aren't just parenting choices, they're irreversible legacies. Let's be brutally honest. The couple's exile to California wasn't exile. It was a business strategy. Meghan and Harry took royal titles, dressed them up in a narrative of suffering, and sold them to the highest bidder. It's textbook branding, but it's not royalty. And certainly not duty. The Queen didn't bestow the title of Duchess of Sussex so it could be used in a podcast intro or a Netflix contract. It was given in good faith, as part of a commitment to public service. That faith was betrayed. Dan Wootton, one of the few mainstream commentators who's consistently called out the double standards, recently noted that Meghan and Harry's public downfall was self-inflicted. Everything happening to them, he said, they did it to themselves. And he's right. This isn't media persecution. This is public accountability. There was a time when Meghan Markle had real potential to reshape the monarchy in a positive, inclusive way. But rather than building bridges, she chose bombshells. Rather than engaging in meaningful change, she pursued the optics of change. And in doing so, she traded long-term influence for short-term attention. Now, the backlash is real and growing. Whether it's comedians on late-night TV, journalists on both sides of the Atlantic, or everyday citizens tired of the drama, the world is waking up to a reality Meghan Markle seems determined to ignore. Victimhood is not a brand, and royalty is not a commodity. You can't sell Sussex. You don't own it. And no amount of PR spin will make the public forget what you've said, done, and contradicted. In the end, Meghan Markle's biggest failure isn't that the world turned on her. It's that she underestimated the world's intelligence. And now, even the jokes aren't in her favor. As the spotlight shifts from admiration to mockery, Meghan's once sympathetic narrative continues to unravel. Her attempts to manipulate public perception through curated interviews, victim-centric branding, and royal nostalgia have exposed a truth she can no longer hide. This isn't about racism, family trauma, or mental health. It's about control. The Duchess tried to rewrite the rules of royalty to suit her ambitions, forgetting that authenticity still matters. In the end, the public didn't cancel Meghan. She did. And now, with each failed project and public eye roll, it becomes clearer. Meghan Markle's downfall wasn't orchestrated. It was self-authored.